China's films are no longer just limited to propaganda pieces. Now they can touch on social concerns and hint at political tensions. But the biggest budget films still have lines that can't be crossed without consequences. It's normally a safe bet, both politically and financially, to rehash ancient Chinese legends that are well known to Chinese audiences. Many of the biggest budget films are trying to reach an international standard by spending big bucks on special and visual effects. And this means that movie magic has made its way into China. As of mid-February this year, 10 movies, including 4 foreign movies, were released in China. The box office receipts totaled $740 million. The lowest earning movie on that list was a Chinese one that made $60 million. That isn't so small for a Chinese film. The biggest earner was the Chinese movie The Monkey King, starring Donnie Yen and Zhou Runfa. Its box office earnings exceeded 1 billion yuan as of February 20th. The producers of this movie, once released, they spent about $82 million in total for the film. About 30 million of that was used in the movie's visual effects. About 98% of the shots in this movie use visual effects in some form. With an improving and expanding movie industry in China, the market for visual effects companies should be overwhelmingly positive. There's precedent for multi-million-dollar deals, political support, and a big audience. But most of the industry is struggling. That's not just in China either. It's worldwide. While a visual effects company or VFX company can work on a blockbuster hit that brings in more than $1 billion, the VFX company only get a small amount. A number of highly respectable VFX companies have already gone bankrupt, and many others are working in the red. The homegrown Chinese VFX companies are not world-renowned for their quality, but some of them are still finding money. Phenom Films is a well-known post-production company in Beijing. It has worked on multiple movies that were big in China, like Detective D and The Painted Skin. In January of this year, this company successfully got about $8 million from a venture capital fund within the Shenzhen Capital Group. The staff engaged in this venture investment once explained that the promising prospect of VFX business in China was the main reason why they invested. But considering the small profit margins in the industry, one could assume the venture was also strategic. Many of the films Phenom worked on fit storylines for government ideologues, which could be an important connection. A survey made by N Group, an entertainment information provider, showed that in 2012, China's market volume for post-production was about $100 million. The business of visual effects accounted for half of that. This figure is also noticeably low compared to Western films, which show that films are reluctant to spend big on VFX. The total revenues of VFX mostly came from 34 Chinese movies that were released in 2012. Each of these movies invested about $3 million in post-production. But meanwhile, visual effects could have taken up $2 million amongst it. Analysts predicted that China's post-production market in 2013 could exceed $190 million. The visual effects market would take up $115 million itself. Don't go away, because up next we'll continue to look at companies behind movie magic in China. Stay tuned.